Hi, everybody. Politics Plus podcast is now live. Let me just get my folks in here. All right, Macy. Hello.
Oh, wait, what happened?
It started my camera off flip too.
Oh, here. Hi.
All right,
Press the wrong.
Mel. I'm going to get Mark in here. Hi, everybody who's joining us. We're just getting the squad in the room. Hey, Papa Well. Hey, Bubba Fatty, Yakin. How you guys doing? All right, Mark should be joining us shortly. How's everybody doing? So exciting to see you guys. Oh man, I haven't seen you guys in
Good.
so long.
Ha ha ha.
I feel like you might be getting sick.
What was that?
I said, I feel like he might be getting sick of us.
Oh, I know.
On the contrary, I need my Politics Plus team medicine every single day.
And you get us every single day.
Yeah. So welcome everybody who's joined us so far. Appreciate you guys coming into the Politics Plus podcast live on IG. Hey Gigi. So tonight's gonna be open to our guests and our followers. Any questions, any comments? I hope you all got a chance to check out our first premiere episode, our Politics Plus first episode of the first season. Yay! We're just waiting for people to come in and see if anybody has any comments, any suggestions. Yay.
We should be like, let's give it a few more minutes while everybody comes in.
Absolutely.
Get a little acclimated.
Yeah,
Get
meet the
comfy.
team.
That
That's
was
right.
fun today, though, huh?
Yeah, it was fun.
That's kind of cool. Or very cool. I watched the whole thing a little bit later, Danny.
Oh, did you?
And Macy, yeah.
Oh, I didn't. It was a good talk, though.
Yeah, it was really good, I thought.
But yeah.
Only one thing was missing, and that was Mel.
It was.
I know. Sorry. It's called work. No.
So half of this equation lives in the New York direction. I guess technically. Yeah. Okay. So two of us live more in the New York direction, and there's a lot of shit going on in New York. So how are things in y'all's camp? Like, how y'all doing?
Good, because it's in the city.
You ride the subway, Mel?
Oh, I used to when I lived there.
Yeah.
It was crazy back then and dirty, yeah.
It's always in the city.
Have you guys seen any of the interview, any of this guy's posts on Facebook yet?
What guy?
The guy that they
tidbits.
caught for, yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Just
first I had heard that he had mental issues and that he was homeless and all that, but he's well-spoken, articulate. He reminds me of the picture-perfect Louis Farrakhan followers, put it that way. Yeah. And in fact, I think it may have been on Brian's page. I saw that. May have been someone else.
Here's what I know so far. This shooter, this whatever domestic terrorist is what he was. He was posting a lot of anti-white hate.
Oh, he's totally hateful of white people
on social media, and Macy and even Mark and Mel, we've talked about this. There's sometimes all of us probably have experienced it. I know Mel has experienced it right when she started her new account. The flagging that takes place once you post anything, it gets taken down immediately. This madman was posting for months without any filter, no shadow banning. His stuff was allowed to get out there. His hate for white people is rampant. and he's a black man.
But you can't call it racism.
No.
No, of course not.
What the fuck?
If he was a white guy doing all that, he would have been flagged a long time ago.
He would have been a
Absolutely.
sociopath.
Oh, of
But,
course,
like-
he would have been a Trump supporter and everything else.
A Trump sociopath.
Yep.
The right word.
Okay, so Aqua Squad said, "What happened? I've been doing yard work." We're talking about the Brooklyn shooting. The subway guy who apparently he was a 62-year-old man named Frank James who
Yep.
shot up the subway, and there's a lot of debate about like what made him do it or whatever, but apparently he just fucking didn't like white people. I mean, and that's, wouldn't it be exhausting? Like, I genuinely have this question, because wouldn't it be exhausting to spend your entire day hating another person because of something that they have no control over?
Oh, it'd be draining.
Yeah. Extremely.
It would be
Like, why
very,
would you
very
waste your
tiring.
time?
Huh?
Why would you waste your time? Like, I can't think of like an entire demographic that I just hate. Like,
Some people have nothing better to do than to hate people and be miserable. You know? It's their whole life.
It's what they thrive for.
Yep.
I'm going to sound like a broken record, but Mel has been bringing this to light. You take God out of the equation, hate and everything, and crime, and just run rampant.
The city of New York right now is going crazy. It's like the state of California right now.
I think we're
Both
worse. I think we're
Democrat
right
run,
up there with
too.
Chicago.
yikes.
Yeah.
Right?
But apparently New York goes through like phases of that. Like New York goes through these like little phases of being super crazy and then being kind of chill and very commerce friendly and and then apparently it goes right back to being fucking hell. That's a lot.
Yeah, Gigi Castro, New York City. What's up, Gigi? He says New York City is a shit show. It absolutely is.
It is. I've been saying it for years.
I'm so glad I live in the woods.
We're glad you live in
Yeah.
the woods.
Society should be glad that I live
sorry.
in the woods.
Oh, man.
You do great in the woods. Where's Ty
Aqua
tonight?
Design. I bet that he was paid like they paid the Palestinians. There will be more jihad stuff.
Oh, I'm glad that person cited because I'm not the only one who thinks it died.
No,
Oh,
it definitely,
I wouldn't be
it definitely
surprised in the
was.
slightest.
It definitely was planned. I can assure you.
Oh, that was a setup. It was a setup.
It's
Hi, Peggy.
yeah, definitely. Like, obviously we know who runs. This is a blue state, so they love to like crank up the fear, and it's just all planned, man. It is. I just feel bad for anybody who was in that train station who just got caught in the crossfire, inhaled those fumes. It's scary because again, there's people that are not like us that are really involved into politics. There's just people that are trying to live their lives, go to work, trying to make a living, who they'll follow politics, but not to the degree that we do, who are just trying to live their lives. And my prayers go out to those individuals.
Oh my God. Did you guys see the pictures? It was very gruesome. The video, the pictures.
That's what Gigi Castro said. She said he was taking pictures of the subway early 2020, and apparently a Syrian immigrant from New Jersey ID'd the Brooklyn shooter. They've
Wow.
got speeches from him going on, like.
Wow.
Dude.
I want to know how he shot 29 people or 26 people, whatever it was, and didn't kill anybody. Did anybody die? Have you heard?
I think 2 were in critical condition. I haven't heard any deaths yet.
As soon as I found out that he had that he was using 30-round Glock mags, I texted some friends of mine and my dad, and I said, if you want 30-round Glock mags, you better get them now because it won't be long before the 30-round handgun mag is gone. That's what they want to do. They want to take it all away.
Do you guys
Starting
find
with
it?
your Huh?
I've got it right here. At least 29 people were injured, including 5 in critical condition and 10 suffering from just gunshot wounds.
Really?
The motive of the shooting still remains unclear, and the incident isn't being investigated as an act of terrorism.
But isn't
It's
it
not being,
coincidental?
right?
No, it's
Hey,
not. But isn't it
hey, Lisa.
coincidental that Biden spoke about it the day before about guns and stuff like that, and then the next day in New York City, where the strictest gun policies laws are at, something like that happens?
Yeah.
Right,
It's all
exactly.
planned, like you said, Danny. It's all planned.
It's all planned.
It's all the plan.
You
It's all
ever
the
notice
rules.
how all these gun crimes seem to come in waves?
Yeah,
There'll be more shootings. There'll probably be a few more shootings now in the next month and a half or so. Driving
But
the
not
point home that we got to get rid of guns.
These politicians who have been in office for so long and know how to work the system, I mean, nobody should be surprised at this point that Biden gives a speech about guns and then the very next day there's a huge, massive gun crime. Like, look at Nancy Pelosi. All of a sudden she buys a shit ton of stock in electric cars, and the very next day Biden signs his EV freaking electric car policy. These
Yep.
things aren't coincidences. Like, these things are strategic moves on a chessboard. And unfortunately, these people who have been playing the game for so much longer than all of these other people, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz and Matt Cawthorn, and all of these people, they're new to the game. They don't have as many moves in. So it's getting scary to watch when you are like all 4 of us and you do pay attention. But for other people, can you imagine the shock value of not paying attention and all of a sudden these things happen?
Well, not only that, I go a little bit more into details when it comes to these things. The cameras weren't working in
Yeah.
that area either.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I heard
again,
that.
it's
Imagine
not
the
a
lawsuit.
coincidence.
Imagine the lawsuits though on that one.
And those cameras are always on.
They weren't working in Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell either, remember?
Oh, that night? Yeah, I know.
That's the trend. That's the trend. Aqua Design said we need real patriotic Americans to infiltrate mosque to stop more attacks. Total satanic playbook. Elisa says they're getting ready for the Green New Deal and the new NWO. And Bobby
Yep.
joined. Bobby, what up? Bubba Fat says, hi guys, I'm Bubba from Gambia. I'm living with my 2 younger siblings. We have no parents. I'm 16-year-old. We are starving. We don't have food since Tuesday since we eat garbage food. Oh,
Jeez.
wow. Sorry to hear that, Bubba Fat.
Tell you what, you don't know how good you have it, do you?
Dude,
I was thinking about that when I was listening to the thousands of people in Shanghai. Was it Shanghai?
Yeah.
That are screaming from their balconies. When I first heard that, I thought it was, I didn't know what it was, to be honest with you. But as I started to get more information on what was truly going on over there, it's really not them having fun yelling across each other. They're all miserable, starving, and locked in their apartments in high rises and whatnot.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's
So I mean, they're literally locking these people in their homes from the outside in, so they can't get out if they wanted to. It's here again. You don't realize how fortunate you are to be living where we are living.
But that also happens when you give up your gun rights.
Yeah. And there are people out there that are saying that the same thing is coming here. If we let them take our guns, we will be in the same spot that these people are in China and so on.
CEO OZ said anybody stop to think this is planned is pushing gun control all over again. Correct. I'm sorry, Macy, go ahead.
Of course.
Well, I think it's interesting because they are trying to switch the narrative back to gun control. And my question is, why did they choose gun control? Like, we were already on the whole like gay rights and abortion, and like we were already sort of in that season, like And then all of a
They have to
sudden,
keep that in your thinking, so that when they want to take them away, that's not a surprise.
and, yeah, and I'm like, then they're like, okay, well, there's probably a new wave of, yeah, how about that shit, y'all? New wave of COVID, but Dr. Fauci says the American people are just now responsible for taking care of it themselves.
Oh, but then Biden allowed federal offices to continue with the mask mandates for another 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah,
Correct.
it's now a mental game. They want to see how they can get you mentally, because they want to get you scared, paranoid, confused, so you can follow what they're telling you.
Aqua Design said Dems globalists NWO believe it's okay to murder people to achieve their demonic plans. Poor people in Shanghai. Is anyone going to try to rescue them or pressure China to help them? We're going to see Alisa, mask mandates will take place again, I think. Absolutely. CEO, even the Biden voters aren't down with gun control after the debacle that's happened across the world with authoritarian governments in the first world countries. Absolutely correct. It's coming to the point where all those things that we thought, were laid to rest are resurfacing again, especially COVID. And I think the mask mandates are something that are prevalent still here because Eric Adams still has our kids in school, public schools, wearing masks.
In the city.
In the city, right.
In the city. I think, if I'm not mistaken, some of them were just able to go back into the building, not recently.
That's a good point right there. I'm sorry, Mel. I was reading something.
What were you reading?
The Aqua Designs that we gave $90 billion in warfare equipment to ISIS and Taliban, and now they want to control our guns.
Exactly.
Sorry,
Mel, we gave money to Ukraine.
No, and the Ukraine, they sent rifles and automatic weapons to Ukraine.
Dude, y'all don't want to start with me because literally right now up on my computer, I was reading over lunch the budget of the United States for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers McGee, give us some numbers.
Dude, no, this all happened because I was fact checking a tweet. Okay, so a tweet came up and I was fact checking it to make sure that we actually gave $200 million to international gender programs.
Wow.
And unfortunately, it is true.
When is this country going to start caring about this country? Stop worrying about other countries and their problems and their issues. We need to fix this country first.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen for another at least 2 years.
Mel, the people in charge right now in the administration are, they have the cancel people in their right ear, and everything about this country is racist. These American values, white people, we have to take them off the face of the earth. They're not going to be helping any Americans anytime soon. Trust me, everything is.
No, I know, but then
south of the border or overseas.
Shouldn't we get rid of the current administration because the majority of them are white? That doesn't make sense.
We don't need to do that now, Mel, because we just put a black justice in the Supreme Court now, okay? So we're good for a while.
We don't know what she is. Or
I appreciate that he said a black justice, not a female justice. Thank you, Mark.
Yes. We don't know what that person is.
Yeah, everyone.
No,
we know. Now I know where you're going with that one.
We know what she is. She just doesn't know what she is.
I couldn't believe it when Blackburn asked that question, and she said, "No, I can't." I mean, really?
Oh, hey,
Brian,
Brian,
but she was pretty, She was pretty fast on her feet though, because she didn't want to offend the transgender community by defining what a woman really is. So that would, I'll give her that credit. She was quick enough on her feet to not answer the question. She could have buried them right there by answering the question properly.
How does that help the advancement of women or pro-women or they can't even define what a woman is. Like all the achievement women have done in the last 50, 60 years to like equate themselves or surpass men, you know, it was always, you know, bring down the patriarch. It's what's ruining this country and what's ruining this world, but they can't even define what the sex of the gender is. Like,
you see what Brian just said? She referred to herself as a woman in her speech at the White House after confirmation. Isn't that lovely?
When
isn't
she
that
wasn't
convenient?
when she wasn't under the hot lights.
Yeah. Well, we knew she would be confirmed anyway because it would be just racism to the core. I mean, how could you possibly not, you know, put her in when she's black and female?
But now we'll never know the validity of who she is, because it'll always be, she was placed in there because of the color of her skin. It won't be because the trials or the stuff that she's worked prior to being nominated. It's always going to be, she was black, she's in.
And the thing is, we should be concentrating on her track record because her track record is crap. She has a clearly biased, one-sided view of the law, and she focuses her attention on the things that matter to her. And that is exactly the type of person that you should not want in the Supreme Court. That is exactly the type of person that you definitely shouldn't peddle up to boost the black community, when the black community has some incredible people that you have spent all this money breaking down. You know, Candace Owen.
I was just going to say that.
Freaking Herman Cain. All the damage they did to Herman Cain. Like, who was it that just left in Texas? Got Alan West, just got run out of the bench.
Wow, horrible.
You want to prop somebody up who has a track record of being biased and malleable and just completely not constitutional. You want to boost this person up, but you have some incredible people that you could totally boost up for the fact of their intellectual side and their integrity. Nobody gives a shit about integrity anymore.
No, it's all about the color of this.
It's out the window with decency, hard work, throw in integrity. It's all out the window. The left doesn't want to know about that.
No.
Why I homeschool my kids.
Well, I think it's interesting how the Democrat Party is the one saying that the Republicans are racist, while, I mean, you couldn't be more racist by putting in a woman, or I should say a black person in the Supreme Court simply because of her skin color. You know, you would think that she would be, you know, offended by that herself, right? Or she should be. But how about just the blatant obviousness of, is that the right word? Obvious? Is it obviousness a word, Macy? Obviousness?
Obviousness? I don't think
it's blatantly obvious that it's racism to the core. I mean, how can you not call that racism? But no one says a word about that. No, they praise him for putting her in there because, you know, she's black, but it's truly racism. We are absolutely out of our friggin' minds.
I know I'm young to remember, but when they put in Clarence Thomas, that was okay to you know, break him down to shreds because of the color of his skin.
Preach.
The left doesn't consider what they do to be racist. It's the other R word, righteous.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you guys pick your pronouns yet? Asking for a friend.
No.
Oh, yeah,
I don't have to pick them. I got boobies. I'm a she.
This is my pronouns for tonight. These are my pronouns.
Are we having a booby war, guys?
Dude, no. Honestly, I don't think that we can have a booby war, only because if you have seen the Brooklyn
what?
Have you seen what?
A booby war. Is that what Mark just said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did
Mark,
you say?
why are you leading us down this road?
Have you seen the tits on the Brooklyn shooter? Okay. Can we just be honest?
No, I haven't.
Thank you, Gigi. It's King Face. King Face presented me with this shirt. Rest in peace, King Face. Thank you, Gigi.
Why is my feed not working? My comment feed. I'm stuck on. So glad you homeschooled your kids. I don't see anything else. It's just sitting there.
That's okay.
Okay, thanks, Mel.
So I'm gonna read some of these comments. I'm gonna go back to, okay, she referred herself. So Aqua Design, the woman will be arrested and escorted out of the Supreme Court manifest. Thank you, Macy. Amen, Macy. So glad you homeschool your kids. Talking to Macy, did you guys pick your pronouns yet? KBJ in her speech after confirmation also said, I am now what slaves dreamt to be. Wow. CEO OZ says, I choose sexual chocolate. Sexual chocolate for his pronoun. I will be known as sexual chocolate at work. Rest in peace, King Face. Thank you, Bobby. And Macy gonna grab a book to show. All right, Macy. All right, we had to do the drinking game.
I knew exactly who said it too.
Yeah, Mark.
I literally looked up. I knew exactly who.
Brian
I see
right
you.
there.
I see you. I want to find the picture of this dude. Sorry, I'm not pulling out any books right now.
You can if you want to. I mean, I'm going to turn the phone. Guys, anybody in the watching us now live have any questions regarding our first episode, the show, our season, or any questions towards any of the hosts, Macy, Mel, and of course, Mark just...
Okay, that's my question. Where's Mark go?
Mark's new name is Gone with the Wind. Like, seriously, that... Wow. Okay, he's coming back. He's coming back in.
Oh, I thought he didn't want to face the tough questions.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think, hey, Marcus.
I heard all that, but I couldn't see. You guys couldn't see me, so I'm just kind of sitting here waiting.
Making sure.
So you know what your new name is, right?
Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, that's especially useful when you're on your big wheel, when you're on your wheel.
Yeah. At least
Mark's
it's not Iceman tonight, right, Mace?
That's right. Peggy says Mark is taking a break.
I'm Iceman tonight.
I'm glad Peggy's still with us. I thought she left us.
Okay, so we have a question. We have a question from Brian. Thanks for coming in again, Brian, and thanks for joining us earlier and tonight. Guys, when you get a chance, check out Brian. He's a Counter Thought. He has a podcast. He has a great YouTube channel. And he's asking us, enjoy the first episode. Thank you, Brian. What's the next topic for episode 2?
Ooh.
I want to give that to Mel. Mel, take it away.
No, don't give it to me.
Well, no, only because you're passionate about our next. Well, we all are, but I think you're more like you stand out a little bit more with the passion. I know Macy's passionate as well, but
should I just give a tidbit of what we're going to talk about?
Just generalize.
So mainly kids, with the bill that was passed in Florida, and we'll see how that goes. I don't want to give too much.
Yeah. Well done, Mel.
What are you, gay?
Oh, Mark. Oh no, we lost Mace.
Okay, she's coming back. She's coming back. Thanks for the question, Brian. And again, everybody, follow Counter Thought. He has great topics and a great show. And a great podcast too, and a YouTube channel. And he's on IG.
Yep. He's very good, very articulate.
Yep, me and Mel had a discussion. Very articulate, and he speaks just very well.
Very eloquently.
Yeah, love you, Brian. Love the show too. Love the content.
I feel like he's fucking with me about my books because I gave him a criticism today. I was being nice.
You criticized Brian today?
Look at the jugs on this man.
What?
Oh my God. Great. That's great. Wow.
Wait.
Thank you.
So Macy pulls out the books when she needs to and the visual aids. Yeah, that guy has some huge knockers.
Huge. They're huge.
Brian says, I'm excited about episode 2, especially since I'm in Florida. Mark mentioned earlier that we have very good lives. Brian, you have a very good life if you're living in Florida.
Absolutely. Well, we've all actually read the bill, the Florida bill. So we're gonna like really be breaking it down and diving into it and looking at it and explaining what's really going on with it.
Yeah.
What are you,
So it should be
gay?
How did I know that was gonna be said?
I do it for Mel.
I think anytime we mention the bill, the Florida bill, that's when the cue.
Yeah.
I know.
That's the cue for Mark.
That's the cue for Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
You know, it was funny when the Super Bowl was playing, what was it, Matt Gay, the kicker? I think it was the kicker for was it San Francisco? Or was it L.A.? L.A.? I can't think. It was in the Super Bowl now. But whenever they showed him out, I would say, "What are you, gay?" You know. So that's kind of stemmed from that one. Just so you know, Mel, it's not about the gay bill, really.
Yeah. So that guy, the shooter from New York City, he gave himself up. He called in the
Brian
Crime
says L.A.
Stoppers and told the police he was at a McDonald's, and they came and picked him up at the McDonald's.
Yeah, he called on himself.
The
The
balls
shooter?
on that
The
guy.
shooter did?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
he
balls
was
on that guy. The balls on that guy. Wow.
Wow.
It says
He's free to
the
do
man
it.
suspected of shooting 10 people on a subway train on Tuesday called in a tip to Crime Stoppers that led to his capture Wednesday. Frank James, 62, was arrested without incidents by patrol officers in Manhattan's East Village neighborhood on Wednesday afternoon. James called in the tip and told authorities he was at the McDonald's on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Wow.
He was having his last meal for, the next 24 hours because
Yeah,
he could be like,
just nonchalantly shook up the city and probably the whole country, and is at Mickey D's, like eating from the kids' menu.
no, I don't think so. Not the kids' menu.
Nope.
So what would have happened to somebody on the subway if they actually had a gun on them and pulled out and shot him?
Oh, that person would be in more trouble than Frank James.
Yep.
Isn't it sad?
Yeah.
Yep. Here in New York, yeah.
Dude,
This guy.
I didn't understand that until I watched something. It was like a New York tattoo shop. I think it was like Black Ink or something. And one of the guys got caught with a gun, and he was like looking at serious freaking time. And I'm going, the person the gun was registered to, like, said it was their gun. It was their car he was driving. Like, how is this happening right now? And my husband walked in, and I'm like, mouth wide open. Like, are you hearing what's going on right now? And he was like, Macy, that's New York gun laws. And I'm like, nope. No, I couldn't do it.
Yep.
Yes. So the county that we moved up into, because I used to live in the city, so the county that we moved up into, Orange County, it's a concealed carry county.
Mm-hmm.
So I put all my paperwork in for my pistols. So, just counting the days down. So it depends. Like, when you're outside the city, like Melissa, she's obviously in a different county outside the city, as so am I. So the legislation for, firearms is different.
It's different.
It's just within the city, they don't want you to carry any weapons whatsoever. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, people get shot.
Oh, yeah. It's those legal guns they get.
CEO Oz said, welcome to the Northeast Reich. And then Joe F. said he was a true racist, posted several rants on killing white people, hated white people, and was on the Facebook. I only caught part of the abbreviation, FBI watch list.
Yeah. Peggy says, I can't believe no one had a gun. And then King Willow said, better be glad they made his burger right.
But it wasn't Burger King though, it was McDonald's.
But they have burgers at McDonald's.
Yeah, but I know. I thought doesn't Burger King have the slogan though? What is it? I would blow this one.
Have it your way or something.
Have it
like
your
that?
way or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy because Tom McDonald has a song where he says, call the cops and order food, see which one reaches you first. And I feel like in New York, undoubtedly, the food's going to get to you first. Am I correct?
Yes.
It all depends.
Mark, Brian said it's have it your way. So there you go.
That's funny.
And then CEO says in New York City, you're expected to call the defunded police to come and help
Yeah.
you. Exactly. Exactly. They were rioting a few years ago, a couple years back, defund the police, we could be using that money for something else. And then this is what they
look
voted
at
for.
it. Yep, this is what they wanted.
Imagine being a cop and not feeling appreciated by the people you serve. I mean, are you going to rush to get anywhere, really? Or is it just going to be a job for you? Punch a clock and go home,
Well,
It's
Mark,
it's sad we've done it to our police.
that happened during the riots taking place after George Floyd. Like,
Mm-hmm.
things, moved all around the country. And then when people started rioting and stuff got crazy here in New York, the police, it would take them hours to show up to like a burglary, a crime, hours. Sometimes they wouldn't even show up.
It's just a job now.
Because they'll get in trouble. So what was the point?
Yeah, they were restricting the police from engaging individuals, from like, holding them in certain maneuvers. You can't hold them like this. You can't. And it was like pretty much the cops were operating with one arm tied behind their back. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what happened to the days of Dirty Harry? Remember that? Remember him?
Look at the days
In New York?
Huh?
It's gone. In New York City, those days are gone.
Yeah. Good old Harry
We need
Callahan.
back Giuliani. That's who we need back in Michigan.
For the record, Eric Adams is a POS, agreed. But that was expected. 26 years as part of the system that created all things problems, and for some reasons, folks expect them to be different. Facts. Cops' hands are tied in New York City. There's not enough police to do their job. Yeah, also, too, yeah. Could you imagine, too? I mean, I remember the two police officers that were shot, the Dominican officers that they had, a funeral for them. One of them was in the academy when all this stuff of George Floyd and all those riots were like happening. He could have easily bailed out, but he continued to say, you know what, I'm going to stick through this. I'm going to become a cop anyway. And look, it cost him his life. Rest in peace to any police officer. Like, wow, it's just,
But it just shows you how much things have changed, because 15 years ago, my husband graduated high school, and the day after we graduated, he left for the Marine Corps. Why did he enlist in the Marine Corps? Because of 9/11. It hit that hard, and he wanted to be part of the solution. We have literally brainwashed an entire generation into thinking that what has always been the solution, with a couple of little bad apples in it, is now the problem. How are you supposed to move forward from that situation? How are you supposed to move forward when you are no longer having kids willing to come out of high school, serve your military, because you'll get left in another country that you don't need to be in? Be a police officer. You'll literally have trends on TikTok of people abusing you, of pouring water on you, of dumping stuff on you, just across the board. We have completely flipped the switch when it comes to determining what matters.
I agreed.
We no longer treat what they 2 years ago even called essential workers like they're essential.
Yeah, those are the same essential workers that was it like 4 or 5 o'clock when the shift changed. They would get people banging outside the window, but God forbid they don't want to get vaccinated. Get the hell out! You suck. You're the enemy.
It's pretty sad.
It is extremely sad.
It's hard to even really comprehend that we're in these times. You could name off story after story after story of what we just talked about. cops being
Well,
defunded and demoralized, and medical workers being, probably, I'm sure they're spit on and sworn at and everything else for not being vaccinated. It's just unbelievable. Yesterday's heroes are now, crap.
Today's
Today's
enemies.
villains.
Yeah, today's
Huh?
villains.
Yeah.
and the fact that any person with a clear conscience could step to another individual and tell them that to retain their employment, they have to make a decision that most of the country still hasn't made. Okay? So, but you're going to tell them because of their particular job field, they have to make this decision. They are somehow more at risk. Absolutely not. That is a personal decision that you make for yourself, for your family, for your kids. And if it comes to employment, by God, you better sign my fucking pink slip and you better write on it what the fuck you're firing me for, because there is a lawsuit coming and there is a war to be fought over getting rid of these necessary people for something as stupid as a trial vaccine.
My body, my choice.
Exactly.
CEO
Yeah, it was
Use that
funny.
slogan.
Huh?
You can't use that slogan for the vaccine. My body, my choice.
CEO says we need to bring the mafia back. There were rules when the mafia was in charge.
Honestly.
Rudy Giuliani got rid of all those motherfuckers.
Yeah, Macy, we have transgender soldiers now. Law enforcement and the military have never been better. Clown faces.
Okay, about to lose it. So, you want to tell me that we are allowed to have people who need daily medications in the military? People, we are going to literally deploy these people that have to take a handful of prescription pharmaceuticals to feel okay. But you can't take an antidepressant or an Adderall in the military without having somebody completely sign off on it and go through 19 levels of red tape. And most times, if you require those medications, it's a medical discharge. You're going to get Med-Sep, and that's fucked. That you are allowing people with a medical condition. It is a medical condition to serve in the military, because the one thing the military teaches you is that it's not about the one person. It's about the group.
The group, right. But funny that you mentioned that, Macy, because all these leftists and all these liberals and progressives, yeah, we support Ukraine. Yeah, you support Ukraine. I read an article where the Ukraine government, the army, was forcing transgender women who were biological
You mean
males,
transgender men, trans men.
transgender women, to take off their wigs and suit up and grab a rifle and go fight in the war against Russia.
Yeah. Well, they should, don't you think?
I mean, again, these liberals are supporting. These liberals are supporting Ukraine, but they aren't aware that Ukraine doesn't believe in gay marriage. They don't support that.
They are aware. They know that the transgender men are having to fight. It's just acceptable in this particular circumstance because it fits their little icon picture stupid shit.
Yeah, Peggy 26 says double standard for Democrats. Exactly right.
Telling you, we should get rid of them. They're white.
Says the non-white person.
My friends from childhood, COOZ says.
I see that, Mel.
Need to man. That's great. I think that was the Ukraine government, the slogan. You have
we had it backwards. It's actually trans women that they're keeping back because they're actually men that want to be women. I always get it reversed in my head for some reason. I have to really think about it. You know,
that
it's so damn confusing.
That has to be.
Why can't it just be trans? Can someone answer this for me? The entire demographic is able to refer to themselves with an acronym, okay? LGBTQ plus ABC, okay? An acronym can describe them.
You forgot the one.
But we can't just say trans?
And the 2 A's. Isn't there 2 A's with it?
I don't know.
It's going in from like the alphabet to algebra. I have no idea.
And then,
no idea.
You know what's going to be joining that soon is pedophilia.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's put it this way: if we will actually allow the utter ridiculousness of trans, trans women, for example, competing in women's sports, if we'll actually allow that and applaud that, don't think for 1 second that pedophilia is not right around the corner, and it will be as accepted
Hello.
as the bullshit we're seeing now. We're going to be sitting here going, what is going on? How can this possibly be happening? And it's going. But the
Look
thing
at
is,
our
it's going
new
to
Supreme Court
happen.
justice.
What?
Look at our new Supreme Court justice.
No, I know.
Who does she favor?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
Oh, Liberty Chick is on. Hey, Liberty Chick.
Dude, okay, but I am about to make a comparison that is probably, Liberty Chick, this may actually piss you off. But I'm going to make a comparison that has to be freaking made. If transgender people want to function in sports, but they do not want to go with their biological sex, and it's not fair for them to compete in the opposite sex, because you don't see any women transforming into men and playing in men's sports trying to compete. You don't see that. So if that is the case,
I love that.
why can they not fight to have their own transgender sports the same way that the Special Olympics has their own thing? They looked at what the differences were. They looked at how people with disabilities were being treated. Do what?
That won't satisfy them because they're in their minds they think they are the other sex. They're not going to settle for being trans. They want to settle for being, a
But
guy that
wouldn't
wants
you
to be
want
a
to
girl.
compete against the best of the best in your demographic? Wouldn't that be what you want, to prove that you're the best trans swimmer of all time?
They want to make waves, no pun intended,
But it's asking for the entire 12-course meal instead of being satisfied with the first course that they've just brought you.
Yeah, there needs to be a different, there needs to be a men's section for sports, a women's section for sports, and trans people need to have their own league. I agree with you.
The thing is, the
But
Special
you'll be
Olympics...
singling them out. Don't you know? Singling them out.
No, the Special Olympics started in a woman's backyard. This woman felt so passionate about getting Special Olympics and getting people with disabilities working out and achieving something that she started this camp in her backyard and ran it for several years out of her backyard, training these people and helping them until she was able to network and get with another place, Chicago, I'm pretty sure, and really build up an actual international thing. And it's not going to happen instantly, but if it's willing to fight for something, can't you at least fight for your own thing?
It's easy to put your heart and soul behind a handicapped child. I can't put my heart and soul behind Will Thomas or Leah Thomas. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it'll never happen.
I was telling my wife this.
That makes sense.
A couple of mornings ago, we have two girls, and let's say our girls want to start, they want to compete in swim, and they want to they want to amass to where they want to train, and they want to be the best in the country, the best in the state, whatever. And at the top of the totem pole, we tell them, listen, Kayla, for you to be successful, this is the person you have to beat. A biological man who's posing as a woman. You're never going to beat her, but keep on trying. Is that the message we're going to send to these little girls who are, who are training, and they're putting their social life on hold, and they want to compete, and they want to get how many scholarships have been denied to all those women swimmers who got beaten by Leah? I always said that in women's sports, and women need, I love women. I think they're the better sex. So if I offend anybody here, please just don't take it out of context.
Hey, Danny?
Those women, those female swimmers who swam against Leah should have all protested. They should have left, never swam, and they said, you know what? We're not going to compete against a man, because that's exactly who Leah Thomas is. She's a man, and they should have just in unison gotten up.
He's a man. He's a man.
Left.
Okay, but then Leah Thomas would have won by default.
Hey, but
so either way, it's a lose-lose situation.
It would have sent a message, though.
It would have sent a message. These women are not having it. And again, these women are staying quiet. And there was an article I shared with you guys where one woman spoke out about, you know, having to lose or settle for second place.
She took fifth place along with him.
Yeah, she took fifth place, and even she got taken out of the spotlight, and they gave
They let him hold the trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if you were Will Thomas, wouldn't you at least have enough integrity to say, here, why don't you hold the trophy? No, he wanted to thumb his nose once again and hold the trophy that she should have been holding, really, you know, or at least, well, I was going to say, be a gentleman, you know, and let her hold the trophy, but he's not a gentleman. He's a woman, right? So a woman. But,
when it's convenient, he's a woman.
Huh?
Yeah,
when it's convenient, he's a woman.
Yeah. So, but ultimately, though, he's a male still. You think he would at least had some gentleman qualities and said, here, you hold the trophy, please, you know? No. This monster of a man who thinks he's a woman, you know, got to hold the trophy, the only fifth place trophy. I want to know where all the dads are. Where are all the parents?
Fifth?
I would be, yeah, fifth place.
Yeah,
they tied at fifth place.
They tied at fifth place.
Couldn't even make it first.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to believe that he actually got fifth place.
Yeah.
But where are all the dads?
The steroids are wearing off.
If my daughter was racing against Will Thomas, I would be in friggin' jail. I'd be raising hell.
Agreed. That's the only way I'm going to stand before a judge or find myself in prison is because of some, like, absurdity like this.
It's absolutely insane.
However my kids turn out, I'm going to be 100% supportive of them, and I'm going to love them, and they're going to be awesome, and it's going to be good. Regardless of how the entire cookie crumbles, it's going to be good. But I worry constantly about kids that their parents are so supportive of this movement. And I don't mean that as like a left and a right sort of thing. I mean people who are legitimately feeding the fire of transgenderism in kids. It really genuinely, I know that me and Mel have had conversations about this, and you can probably pick up where I'm leaving off, Mel, you know, but it genuinely breaks my heart to think of a kid growing up feeling like they had to conform to some sort of alternative view that the rest of the world doesn't have. And by default, you are giving your kid a complex. Like for those people,
you're psychologically messing with them. That is what it is.
Psychologically messing with all of us.
But for that particular child, why would you even traumatize them in that manner? Like it doesn't make sense.
They don't think they're traumatizing them, Mel. That's the shit. They don't think they're traumatizing them. They think they're supporting them. It all comes from the top down.
I'm sorry.
This warpness comes from the top down.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mace.
Body dysmorphia, which is transgenderism, is, you know, what's the word? By bulimic, what's the word for not eating?
Disorder.
Yes. Okay. So these eating disorders are also, you know, a form because you feel that your body doesn't look the way that it's supposed to look, whether it be because you have little love handles or because you don't have a penis. Whatever the fucking way that goes, you know, body dysmorphia is the same across the board. But again, you do not see anyone standing out on a street corner saying, you know, I'm bulimic and proud. Where is that sign? I haven't seen it. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, and they all fall into the same category, there's no way of denying that this isn't something that necessarily you should be proud of. Yes, it is something that you have to work on daily, and yes, it is something that you are going to have to figure out what the best solve is for you, but stop making society bend to your daily flow of what you need. Okay? We don't have to play into it.
I'm just going to read some of the comments here. So Aqua says, that's not the plan. They want to destroy the traditional family and everything God made. They just want to win. Yes, they should have their own section, but trans people don't want their own league. They want to fuck up normal people's leagues. Agreed. And they're succeeding. Courtney P. Henderson. Hey, Courtney. I love how passionate you are, Macy. Agree with you. Brian says, I have an episode about that exact same point, Danny. Gonna check it out, Brian. Hey, CEO says agreed. Aqua comes back and says, yes, they should have in unisons walked off and refused to complete. Imagine the power in unity. Thank you. This is why the divide by race, gender, and politics. Agreed. Can we stop contributing to the problem? The fact that we continue to refer to him as Leah gives the entry situation relevance. Correct. We need to start referring to him as William. Correct. Being quiet about things is allowing this country to be destroyed. I think, Macy, in the first episode, we talked about silence. Good point there. Only 60% of Americans think trans athletes compete against biological women is a problem. Wow. Latest Disney post.
That's because most don't know.
Yep.
And that's also because 55% or so are Republicans. Well, it's true.
Yeah.
Who supports transgenderism? Liberals, Democrats. That makes up about 45% or so of the country. That's why you have 60% that are not for it, but 40% that are. You know, it's just it's pretty simple.
My thing is like, you can't make everybody happy, but you're elevating transgenders as they're equating their struggle to be more superior than a black person, like an African American who's been through slavery, Jim Crow laws, racism up the wazoo. All of a sudden, you have all these transgender people who are kind of skipping the line and going ahead of all these African Americans who did really struggle, and they're equating their struggle to be more of a struggle than the African American.
Their struggle was that they couldn't get their meds on time. I'm just being honest. They don't know what it is to really have a struggle. The only struggle that they have is an internal struggle, and that's something that they need to get help with.
So
the whole thing is mind-boggling to me, anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, it's absolutely mind-boggling.
Macy, go ahead, Macy.
Ages 13 to 7 make up 0.7 of the youth that think they're gender. Less than 1%. Okay? But the rest of the world, the billions of people on this beautiful globe of ours, have to play in because 1% of all kids have grown up in the generation of transgender is cool. Can't break.
Yeah.
So guys, it's saying we have a minute and 40 seconds left remaining on this live. We've been talking for an hour. Wow, it doesn't even seem like that. So it's gonna kick everybody else out and ourselves as well. So,
but we'll be doing this every Wednesday. So
see you next time.
Every Wednesday we have a minute and 20. So any parting sayings or last things, Mark, Mel, Mace?
No, we'll see them next week.
Yeah, we'll see them next week.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's been fun.
Yeah, guys.
We'll have a new episode for y'all on Tuesday.
Yeah,
episode 2.
We'll record it this week and it'll be released on Tuesday, and then we'll be back here again next Wednesday, chopping it up, or like Mark says, talking turkey.
Talking turkey.
Talking turkey.
Guys in the chat, it was very much fun seeing everybody that showed up and supported us and was there right with us. We love you guys. Keep supporting us. Make sure to check out the podcast. Make sure to check out Liberty Mel. Make sure to check out Mark on Wings of Eagles, and simply.insanity on IG. And I'm Danny Neva 2.0. We love you guys. Thank you.
Can I say thanks to everybody that tuned in that follows me that I asked to come on tonight?
You have 15 seconds.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Hey, Mel.